For the second time in 5 days, the Trump administration decided to completely ignore an order from Judge James Boasberg. And the second order that they ignored was actually the judge demanding an explanation about the first order that they ignored. So here's what happened. As everybody knows at this point, on Saturday, after Trump invoked the Aliens Enemies Act, started sending flights of deportees out of the country. Boasberg immediately got the case and he said, oh, hell no, turn those planes around right now. He actually said turn the planes around in his ruling. The Trump administration defied that and continued sending these people God knows where. So then the judge came out early in the week and said, okay, listen, Trump Department of Justice, you're going to have to submit to me by Tuesday, close of business, an explanation as to, well, how many planes departed, how many people were on the planes, what countries did the aircraft land in, and what's the timeline of information regarding the flights. I want to know why you defied my order, basically. Submit it in writing by the end of the day Tuesday. And on Tuesday, the Department of Justice proudly announced, piss off, Judge, we're not going to do that. The Department of Justice is, of course, led by Pam Bondi, who Donald Trump handpicked after Matt Gaetz kind of fell through for him. And here is what Pam Bondi's DOJ said in a statement. This is actually submitted to the judge. The government maintains that there is no justification to order the provision of additional information, and that doing so would be inappropriate because even accepting plaintiff's account of the facts, there was no violations of the court-written order since the relevant flights left U.S. airspace and so their occupants were removed before the order issued, and the court's earlier oral statements were not independently enforceable as injunctions. The government stands on those arguments. If, however, the court nevertheless orders the government to provide additional details, the court should do so through an in-camera and ex parte declaration in order to protect sensitive information bearing on foreign relations. In other words, yeah, because you didn't write it down, we just kind of said, screw it. You know, if you want us to comply with what you say, maybe do it on camera. That's literally what they're saying. Like, do it on camera, okay? I don't have time for this. You want to tell me what to do, Judge? Then you need to upload it to TikTok, and then maybe I'll find it as I'm scrolling through. Is that what you're saying, Pam Bondi? Like, you only accept judicial orders when they're in video form? First of all, that's not how justice works. You don't get to defy a judge's order. It doesn't matter if he speaks it, doesn't matter if he puts it in recording, doesn't matter if he writes it down. A judge's order is in fact a judge's order, and you are legally required to follow that order. You don't get to say, no, first of all, we don't think you even need the information. Second of all, it was in international airspace. Really? The planes were over the Gulf of Mexico. So if the Gulf of Mexico is in fact international waters, then you're admitting also that the United States has no authority to change the name of it to the Gulf of America. So, you know, might want to rethink your little argument there because you're actually countering something that Donald Trump tried to do a little bit ago. But anyway, the point is this. The Department of Justice is lawless. They're openly defying multiple court orders from this judge in just 5 days. And they're admitting we're going to keep doing it. You have no power here is what they're telling the judge, who does in fact have power. Except that he also kind of doesn't. Because as I mentioned earlier this week, what can the judge do at this point? If they're not going to comply, can he hold them in contempt? He absolutely can. Could they go on trial for contempt of court? Absolutely. Would Donald Trump just immediately pardon them before any of that could happen? 100%. And then what? Honestly, then what? Nothing. Nothing can happen at that point. They're acting lawless because they can act lawless. Because even with our system of checks and balances here, when you have a rogue dictator acting as president of the United States, the checks and balances don't matter, and they know that. That's why they're defying these orders. That's why they're smirking at the judge and telling him, if you want to talk to us, put it on camera. It's insane. And it may very well be the end of the democratic society that we have in this country. Thanks for watching today, everybody. And don't forget, if you're not already, please do subscribe to this channel. We have fresh content going up every single day, and I would really hate for you to miss out on that. And speaking of missing out, if you're not following me across all other social media outlets, then get on it. You can follow the links in the description of this video.